there's a lot of troubles and a lot of back and forth in the Volta region just because of maybe certain ways Dennis Miracles Aboagye from the NPP we use other than the NDC people. Now that means me I bring a bit of butterflies in the stomach. And some know why baby because I them as some now can know and we've had proof to that. But we don't know why the NDC is reacting very, very negatively to it. From me, I forgot my family. Yeti as some of Canary Chawadi comment section.
Whole town roads, first class roads, Ura whole Kroma, as a Ura Abruchri, and also na voter radio for Begina Atuaba. Whole central market, I buy with the 14 million Ghana cities, and I could see whole central market and Kwa, I might do move from Bass or Mufanya Juma, Dominica and Fa and share a Busuya. Kwasha Hawway and put to Juma by the Abaho. South die, a coin, by Iowa, South die put the Amy Ankasana Maybacao. Omomwe MP, NDC MP, rocks in Dafia Mepo, Enumutung say, and she say a buying, any punto a buying, Eddie Abba, vote, the constituency was sad, and one can say no mutung, can't she say a buy with a year war no constituency. Yes, Dr. Mahmoud Babia campaigner, or your old voter region.
It is a tell some of NDC MPs are testifying to this. Into the one man, someone why better price in the stomach. Because Wama company why confused.
Videos in Kakra. Yasha, your best answer, Hajia Samira Baumia, the Biamekama prolific campaigner, one of the most efficient second ladies Ayenya Ewo on my way. The sort of campaigner all year across the length and breadth of this country, no. I mean this is for a boom. Numbers are Hajia Samira a poorly across the country. Ebo Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, and this is for flag bearer, former president credit to mean police and numbers. It's a better Hajia Samira videos and also Ekakra. And Dr. Matthew Opoku Prempe and Nam Ebo Pro across the length and breadth of this country.
Boy. Wow, wow, wow. Is this a catching off? Is this a catching off? Is this a catching off? Wow, clap for yourselves. This is massive. This is massive. Wow, wow, wow. Whole Central. Wow. Clap for yourselves. Clap for yourselves. Wow. Wow.
And for you to hear, for my senior brother to hear, if the going gets rough, I can put this down and put on my gun and go bulldoze.
Bawumia, 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 Dombala, Bawumia, 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 Dombala, Bawumia, Nana, Vice Bawumia, Dombala, Bawumia.
It's the best, and these days he adds Osajifo to his name, which is okay. So he's here, Oliver Baka Vomaho. Okay, now to this letter. Okay, so this is a single letter. So I put it down so that you see it. It's a letter dated 29th March 2013. Incidentally, 29th March is the birthday of President Akufo-Addo, as we all know, and we're all anticipating a big birthday next week for the president. So that's 29th March, just caught my attention, just to say. So 29th March 2013, it was Akufo-Addo's birthday, incidentally. And this is a letter that is coming from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs to the Office of President John Dramani Mahama. It's a letter from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs coming to President Mahama. It says as follows. It's the title. Request for secondment. Okay, so have a look at this. Let me put it on in a bigger way so you can see it. So this is the letter. I'll come back to it in a minute. So this is the details of the letter. Request for secondment of foreign service officer to the office of the president. So what it means is that The person being discussed here is a foreign service officer. That means he works for the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, and the letter will show that he's an A5 officer. That's where usually they start graduates from. Graduates who go to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs start at A5. You do well, you get to A4. You do better, you get to A3. You get to A2. You get to A1, and then you become ambassador. That's the ranking at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. A5, A4. Sometimes it can take you 12 years from A5 to A4, depending on your performance. Some people come in at A5 and then they shoot them straight to A2. A1 is a very important position because that means after that you will be called ambassador by rank, which is the highest ranking foreign service official. They are called ambassadors. So with that information, let's get on. Request for a secondment of foreign service officer to the office of the president. It says, I have the honor to refer to your letter, data so or the number so of 28th March. So he wrote on 28th March. On 29th March, he got a response of 28th March 2013 concerning the above subject, and to inform you that, now hear this, to inform you that Mr. Mause Ho Vomaho, Foreign Service Officer A5, FSO, Foreign Service Officer A5, will report to your office on 1st April 2013 as requested. Accept, sir, the assurances of our highest regard. So, Dr. Atuguba, when he was secretary to the president, wrote to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs to bring Oliver Vomaho to his office, to come and work in his office. He was executive secretary to the president. President Mahama was president. They wrote a letter to Foreign Affairs. Bring, what's the name again? His name is Mause Ho Vomaho, A5 officer. He should report to the office of the president to work there. The letter is signed. Okay, let's see whether the signatories are here. Okay, so there are the signatories. The letter is signed for the Minister of Foreign Affairs and Regional Integration. At that time, it will be Hannah Tete, and it's signed by Mercy Deborah Kakari, Mrs., who is the Director of Administration, and it's gone to the Executive Secretary, Office of the President, Osu Castle, Accra. Attention is Mr. Kizito Balance, who probably was a secretary in Dr. Tugube's office. But the letter is going to the Executive Secretary, Office of the President. Now, the letter says, in response to what Atuguba requested, that the Minister of Foreign Affairs has the honor referring to the letter concerning the subject, and the subject is request for secondment of Foreign Service Officer to the Office of the President. So, my concern is that Vomaho knows Atuguba very, very well. Why didn't they tell us? Why didn't Vomaho, in all his public expressions, tell us that, oh, I used to work in President Mahama's office, so I know him well. Dr. Atuguba brought me from Foreign Affairs to work there. He really should have told us. I think it's dishonest that he didn't tell us. Because you are carrying out a public campaign. You are carrying out Fix the Country campaign. So you sit in England, you type Fix the Country on the social media, people jump to it. You don't tell us that you were part of the old government. You don't tell us that you were a foreign service officer and you were asked to come and work in President Mahama's office. So President Mahama knows Vomaho very, very well. Dr. Atuguba knows Vomaho very, very well. Why are they pretending that they don't know him? Why didn't they tell us? Why didn't Vomaho himself tell us that this is where I'm coming from, but this is what I think? It doesn't matter where he's coming from. It doesn't matter whether he's NDC, but he has to disclose to us that all of the Fix the Country I'm doing, I have a political background. My political background is that I was working in the office of President John Dramani Mahama, recommended to come to that office from a secondment from the Foreign Affairs by Dr. Raymond Atuguba. He should have done that. And that's why we are putting this out, so that everyone will see that this is what we are dealing with. Brilliant guy, no doubt about that. But this is what we are dealing with. He failed to disclose to us that he was working in President Mahama's office from 2013. It doesn't show when he left. Atuguba himself left in 2015. Our research shows that he also left after Dr. Atuguba left. He went to England. Then 2017 comes. Election is lost. 2020 comes. The election is lost. And then he puts up something that I am doing physical. He calls himself Osagyefo. You clearly have a political background, and maybe he has a political bias as well. That we can't say. I can't say whether he has a political bias or not, but it's a very, very big suggestion that he may have a political bias. All of that is still no problem, but disclose to us. That's why in corporate they'll say that you have to disclose your interest, declare your interest. So disclose to us that I do have a political background. I had worked in the office of President Mahama, but I'm not NDC. I don't think NDC. I don't think center leftist. I don't think anything. But I worked in President Mahama's office. He should have given us that. Why does Dr. Atuguba and others talk about Fix the Country as if they don't know the guy? They all know him. President Mahama knows him. All the people who worked in President Mahama's office, they know Vomaho. He's their man. They asked Foreign Affairs to bring him from Foreign Affairs to work in the office of President Mahama. If you are not of the MPP political philosophy, they will not take you to go and work in the office of President Akufo-Addo. It's not going to happen. The people who work in President Akufo-Addo's office is principal people. Apart from those who are civil servants, it's principal people, secretary to the president, deputy chief of staff, researchers in the office, social media people. They all agree with Akufo-Addo's political philosophy. That's why they are there. So if you are Vomaho, in the past it used to be called what? Mause. Mause. No, where's the name? Where's the letter? In the past, he used to be called Mause. Yeah, it's there. Mause Ho Vomaho. Now he's Oliver Baka Vomaho. So it's Mause Ho Vomaho. That sounds like a Jalukope. Or is this Jalukope? I think it's Jalukope. That sounds to me like Jalukope. So that's Mause Ho Vomaho. And he's now Oliver Baka Vomaho. Nothing, no problem about that. But he has to tell us that, Chief, this is where I'm coming from. I am coming from the office of President Mahama. I was working for Dr. Tuguba. I have been away for 2-3 years. I think that we should fix the country. That's okay. We can engage the conversation. But he has to tell us the truth about his background, because the messenger is important. The message is important, but context is far more important. I'll say that again. The messenger is important. The message is important, but context is far more important. So Oliver Vomaho's context is that he used to work in the office of President Mahama. And who is President Mahama? President Mahama is one of the key fundamental protagonists in this republic relating to political leadership. There are two protagonists, and there have been two protagonists since 2012. President Mahama and President Akufo-Addo have been the two protagonists for political leadership. If Vomaho is doing something like fix the country, which potentially could inure to the benefits of President Mahama because he is not in office, Vomaho must tell us that I worked for President Mahama before. He should tell us. That he didn't tell us is dishonest. That Atuguba doesn't tell us is dishonest. So he writes something on Facebook, he's incarcerated, Atuguba makes a speech, and he talks about the same coup, almost in support of Vomaho. But he doesn't tell us that there's a clear nexus that links the two of them, that they work together, they probably are political friends, they probably have the same political philosophy. This will lead us to suggest that Vomaho may be working with a bias. We don't have any evidence to conclude that, but we have sufficient material to suggest it, that he may be working with a bias towards President Mahama, because he worked in President Mahama's office before. That is who Mause is. This is Mause. This is Mause Oliver Baka Vomaho. Mause Ho Oliver Voka Vomaho. That's him. He removed the Mause. He says Oliver Baka. It's Mause. Yeah, it's Mause. We know him. Mause. Yes. They should tell me what Mause means. Mao is God, by the way. So Mause. He's Mause. He's Mause. So Mr. Mause, we know who you are. Go on with your campaign. No problem. We have to build this country. Or if you choose your favorite words, we have to fix this country. We have been doing that forever. We have to do it. But disclose the